The stars looked different from the observation deck of the Lumina research vessel. Hannah pressed her thin hand against the clear panel, her skin glowing with a soft blue light. The ship moved silently through space, approaching the blue-green planet that her people had just discovered. "Xenobiologist Hannah, please report to the command center," a voice called over the speaker system. Hannah took one last look at Earth before turning away. Her movements were graceful as she walked through the corridors. Like all Lumina, she had a delicate frame. Her skin was almost see-through, with light patterns flowing beneath it like gentle waves. Many species across the galaxy thought the Lumina were the most beautiful beings in existence. But beauty did not equal strength. The Lumina were fragile. A simple fall could break their bones. Too much heat or cold could kill them. They survived because of their advanced technology and intelligence. In the command center, lead researcher Dury waited for Hannah. Dury's skin pulsed with yellow light, showing her excitement. "We have selected the human for your study," Dury said, handing Hannah a data tablet. "Our scouts found him working alone at an outpost near their moon." Hannah looked at the screen. The human was male, with dark hair and eyes. According to the data, his name was Ty, and he worked as an engineer for Earth's space defense program. "He is substantial," Hannah said, noting the human size and muscle mass. Compared to the thin, tall bodies of the Lumina, he looked dense and powerful. "Yes," Dury agreed. "All humans appear to be physically robust. This makes them perfect candidates for the Protectorate program." The Lumina Protectorate program. Hannah knew it well. Her people offered advanced technology and knowledge to less developed species in exchange for their service. What Dury didn't say out loud was that service usually meant fighting wars that would kill too many Lumina. "When will he arrive?" Hannah asked. "The retrieval team is bringing him now. They used a sleep beam, so he will be unconscious when he arrives." 3 hours later, Hannah stood outside the special chamber built to house the human. Through the observation window, she could see Ta lying on a bed designed to handle his weight. He was still asleep, his chest rising and falling with steady breaths. Even unconscious, there was something striking about him. His skin was a warm brown color, solid and opaque, so different from her own transparent flesh. His hands were large, with thick fingers that looked like they could break her arm without effort. "Beast-like, isn't he?" Sulk, a member of the Lumina Council, had come up beside her. His skin flashed with patterns of disgust. "Strong but primitive. Perfect for our needs." Hannah didn't respond. There was something about calling the human a beast that felt wrong to her. Yes, he was physically imposing by Lumina standards, but she had studied enough species to know that physical traits didn't determine intelligence or worth. "You will have 3 Earth months to study him," Salk continued. "Learn his strengths and weaknesses. Find out how we can best use his kind." As Salk walked away, Hannah continued watching the human. Inside the chamber, Ta began to stir. His eyes opened slowly, confusion clear on his face as he took in the strange room with its glowing walls and unfamiliar technology. When he sat up, the movement was quick and fluid, revealing a coordination that surprised Hannah. He noticed her at the window and approached cautiously. For the first time, Hannah looked directly into the eyes of a human. She expected to see fear or anger. Instead, she saw something unexpected: curiosity. The same curiosity she felt. Their first contact had begun. 3 days had passed since Ty arrived on the Lumina ship. He sat on the edge of his bed, watching as Hannah entered his room. By now, he knew she was the lead scientist studying him. "Good morning, Ty," Hannah said. Her voice came through a small device that translated her words. "Morning," he replied simply. His dark eyes followed her as she moved around the room. "More tests today?" Hannah nodded. Her skin rippled with blue and green lights, showing her excitement. "Yes, today we will test your physical strength." Ta stood up. He towered over Hannah, nearly twice her height. His movements were careful, as if he knew his own power could harm her by accident. "This way." Hannah led him to a large room filled with various machines. 2 other Lumina scientists were waiting. Their skin pulsed with nervous yellow lights when Ty entered. "Begin with the lifting test," one of them said. For the next 2 hours, the Lumina team watched in amazement as Ty performed each task. He lifted weights that would crush a Lumina instantly. He ran on a treadmill at speeds their bodies could never achieve. His skin barely broke a sweat while the scientists' lights flickered with excitement. "Remarkable," whispered Dury, who had come to observe. "His muscle density is 5 times greater than ours. His bones would require significant force to break." "The beast exceeds all our projections," said Sok, who stood at the back of the room. "Humans will make perfect warriors for our cause." Hannah frowned at the word beast. She looked at Ta, who was now pushing against a pressure plate with his hands. The machine measured the force he generated. "That's enough for today," Hannah announced. She approached Ta with a small cup. "Please drink this. It will help your body recover." Tay took the cup carefully. His large fingers barely touched Hannah's as he accepted the drink. She noticed how gentle he was despite his strength. Later, in her private lab, Hannah reviewed the test results. The door slid open and Dury entered. "The council is very pleased," Dury said. "They believe humans are exactly what we need for the war with the Void Collective." Hannah's skin dimmed slightly. "Is that all we see? A species to fight our battles? What else is there to see?" Dury asked, genuinely confused. "They are physically superior but technologically primitive. The perfect balance for the Protectorate program." After Dury left, Hannah continued studying the data, but her mind kept returning to the careful way Ta had taken the cup from her hand. Such strength, used with such care. The next morning, Hannah brought something new to Ta's room, a small plant from Earth that the retrieval team had collected. Tay's eyes widened when he saw it. "A sunflower seedling," he said, his voice softer than Hannah had ever heard it. "Your planet has fascinating life forms," Hannah said. "I thought you might like something familiar." Tay reached for the plant. His large hands, capable of breaking metal in yesterday's tests, cradled the tiny pot with incredible gentleness. Something in Hannah's chest tightened at the sight. "Thank you," he said. Hannah watched as Tay placed the plant near the light in his room. His movements were precise, making sure the seedling had the perfect position. "Today's tests will measure your response to different environments," Hannah explained. "Temperatures, pressures, radiation levels." Ta nodded, but his attention remained on the small green plant. "On Earth, I helped design systems to protect people in harsh environments," he said. "Ironic that now I'm the one being tested." For the first time, Hannah wondered what it felt like to be called a beast when you had the hands of a gardener. She made a silent promise to learn more about Ta, not just as a specimen, but as a person. Alarms blared throughout the research section of the Lumina ship. Red lights flashed across the walls, reflecting off the translucent skin of the panicking scientists. "Containment breach in Laboratory 7. A voice announced over the speakers. "All personnel evacuate immediately." Hannah was working late in her office when the alarm started. She knew Laboratory 7 was just down the corridor from where Ty was being kept. Without thinking, she ran toward the humans' quarters. The ship shook violently. Something had gone wrong with an experiment involving unstable energy crystals. The walls around Laboratory 7 were already cracking. If they broke completely, that entire section would lose air and pressure. Hannah reached Ta's room and found the door unlocked in the emergency. He was already on his feet, looking alert. "We need to leave," Hannah said, her skin flashing with fear patterns. "The ship is damaged." Ta nodded and followed her into the corridor. They had only gone a few steps when a terrible sound came from behind them, the unmistakable hiss of air escaping into space. "Run," Hannah cried. But she knew they wouldn't make it to the safety doors in time. The wall behind them burst open. The sudden rush of air threw Hannah forward. She felt herself being pulled back toward the breach, her light body unable to resist the powerful suction. Then something solid wrapped around her. Ta had grabbed her with one arm, while his other hand gripped a metal bar on the wall. His face showed pain as the escaping air tried to tear them both into the void of space. With incredible strength, Todd pulled them forward, fighting against the suction. Step by agonizing step, he moved them toward the safety doors, keeping his body between Hannah and the breach. Just as they reached the doors, a piece of metal broke free from the wall and sliced across Todd's back. He grunted in pain but didn't let go of Hannah. With one final effort, he pushed her through the safety doors just as they closed automatically. They collapsed on the floor, safe but injured. Tay's back was bleeding badly. Hannah's skin had turned a pale white color from shock and fear. "You're hurt," she said, her translator barely working. "I'll be fine," Ta said through gritted teeth. "Are you okay?" Hannah couldn't understand how he could worry about her when his own blood was pooling beneath him. She called for medical help immediately. In the days that followed, Hannah barely left the medical bay where Ta was recovering. She brought him books about Earth that the Lumina had collected. Together, they looked at pictures of oceans, mountains, and cities. "This is my home," Ta said, pointing to a small house near the sea. "Before I joined the space program." Hannah's skin glowed with soft colors as she studied the picture. "It's beautiful. Do you miss it?" "Every day," Ta admitted. While Ta slept, Hannah started learning Earth languages from the ship's database. She wanted to understand him better, to know the words he used in his sleep when the translator was turned off. One night, she found a book of human poetry. In it was a poem about a warrior whose hands, strong enough to bend steel in battle, were gentle enough to hold flowers and loved ones. The dichotomy of human strength, she whispered to herself, watching Ta's chest rise and fall as he slept. The wounds on his back were healing quickly, another sign of his species' remarkable resilience. Sok entered the medical bay, his skin patterns showing disapproval. "You spend too much time with the specimen," he said coldly. "His name is Ta," Hannah replied, her own skin flashing defiance. "And he saved my life. He was designed to protect. It's why we want his kind," Sok said dismissively. "The council arrives tomorrow to see your progress. Remember where your loyalties lie." After Sok left, Hannah looked again at Ta. For the first time, she wasn't sure where her loyalties should be. She only knew that no one who risked their life for another deserved to be called a beast. The Lumina Council ship arrived with great ceremony. It was 3 times larger than the research vessel and glowed with beautiful colors that pulsed along its hull. 5 high-ranking council members stepped onto the research ship, their skin patterns showing their importance and power. Hannah stood straight as they approached the meeting room. Ta stood beside her, now fully recovered from his injuries. He wore a new uniform the Lumina had made for him, designed to make him look less threatening to the council. "Is this the human specimen?" asked the head counselor, a Lumina named Rin whose skin rippled with gold and silver patterns. "This is Ta," Hannah corrected gently. "He has been essential to our research." Rin circled Ta slowly, studying him with obvious interest. "Yes, he seems suitable. The reports of human physical capabilities are impressive." The council members took their seats at the large table. Hannah and Ta were asked to sit across from them. Images of Earth appeared on the screens around the room. "We have prepared the diplomatic message for the humans," Rin announced. "We will offer them technology, medical advances, and cultural exchange. In return, they will join the Protectorate program." The screens changed to show images of humans wearing Lumina-designed armor, standing alongside Lumina ships. "The humans will serve as our defensive forces against the Void Collective," another council member explained. "Their natural physical abilities make them perfect for tasks too dangerous for Lumina bodies." Tyus sat very still, his face showing no emotion. But Hannah, who had learned to read human expressions, saw the tightening around his eyes. "We want you to prepare Ta for presentation to the Earth leaders," Rin told Hannah. "He will be our success story, proof that humans and Lumina can work together beneficially." After the meeting, Hannah and Ta returned to the lab. Once the door closed, Ta finally spoke. "They're lying," he said quietly. "This isn't an alliance. It's recruitment for soldiers." Hannah's skin dimmed with worry. The Protectorate program has helped many species advance. At what cost? Tai interrupted. How many of these species end up fighting and dying for Lumina wars? Hannah couldn't answer. She had never questioned the Protectorate program before, but Tay's words made her uncomfortable. "In my military training," Ta continued, "we studied diplomatic language. What your council described isn't partnership, it's conscription." That night, Hannah couldn't sleep. Ta's words kept repeating in her mind. She accessed the ship's database and searched for information about other species in the Protectorate program. What she found disturbed her. The Kilari, a strong insect-like species, had lost 60% of their population fighting for the Lumina. The Drav, known for their healing abilities, were now nearly extinct after serving on the front lines. The next morning, Hannah found Tai tending to his sunflower, which had grown taller in the weeks since she had given it to him. "I need to ask you something," she said, her voice low. "If what you said is true about the Council's plans, what would you have me do?" Ta looked at her for a long moment. "I can't tell you what to do, Hannah, but I can ask you to help me warn my people." "That would be treason against the Lumina," Hannah whispered, her skin turning pale with fear. "I understand," Ta said gently, "but ask yourself this. Is loyalty to your people worth sacrificing another species?" Hannah's hand trembled as she reached for her data tablet. She pulled up the classified files on the Void Collective War, files she wasn't supposed to have access to. The numbers were worse than she had imagined. Millions of Protectorate soldiers had died in the past year alone. "The Council ships leave for Earth tomorrow," she said finally. "We don't have much time." Morning came too quickly. Hannah had spent the night copying secret files and planning their escape. Her skin barely glowed now, dimmed by fear and lack of sleep. "Are you sure about this?" Tai asked as Hannah entered his room. His voice was gentle, but his eyes were serious. "Yes," Hannah replied. Her decision had been made when she saw the true numbers of the Protectorate casualties. No species deserves to be tricked into war. Hannah explained her plan. The Council had ordered Tai to be moved to their ship for preparation. During the transfer, they would make their escape. 2 hours later, Hannah walked beside Tai as 2 Lumina guards led them toward the shuttle bay. Tay's hands were loosely bound in front of him, more for show than actual restraint. The Lumina never considered that a human might resist or escape. "The Council is pleased with your work, Xenobiologist Hannah," one guard said as they entered a narrow corridor. "Thank you," Hannah replied, her skin pattern carefully controlled to hide her nervousness. When they reached the midpoint of the corridor, Hannah pretended to drop her data tablet. As she bent to pick it up, she pressed a small button on her wrist device. Instantly, the lights went out. Emergency alarms began to sound throughout the ship. "Now," Hannah whispered. In the darkness, Ta easily broke his restraints. The guard's confusion was complete when the artificial gravity suddenly failed. The Lumina guards floated helplessly, their thin limbs flailing in the zero gravity. Tai, however, had trained for spacewalks. He grabbed Hannah with one hand and pushed against the wall with his feet, propelling them down the corridor. "The emergency shuttles are this way," Hannah directed, pointing to a side passage. They reached a small shuttle bay just as the backup systems started to restore gravity. Tai quickly helped Hannah into the nearest shuttle while she activated the launch sequence with her access codes. "Stop them," Sock's voice echoed through the bay as he and several guards appeared at the entrance. The shuttle door closed just as the guards fired their stun weapons. The shots bounced harmlessly off the shuttle's hull. "Launching now," Hannah said, her fingers racing across the control panel. The shuttle shot out of the bay and into open space. Behind them, alarms continued to flash across the Lumina ships. "We did it," Ta said, looking back at the shrinking research vessel. But their problems were just beginning. The shuttle wasn't designed for long journeys, and Earth was still very far away. Worse, Hannah was already struggling with the shuttle's environment. The air mixture, she gasped, her skin turning alarmingly pale. It's calibrated for human needs, not Lumina. Ty quickly found the environmental controls and adjusted them, but Hannah's condition was worsening. The gravity in the shuttle was also stronger than what the Lumina were used to. I can't. Hannah tried to stand but collapsed. Without hesitation, Todd lifted her in his arms. Her body felt impossibly light, like she might break if he held her too tightly. Despite his enormous strength that had helped them escape, he cradled her as if she were made of the thinnest glass. "Save your strength," he said, carefully placing her on the shuttle's small bed. "I'll set course for the nearest moon base. My people have an outpost there." As Ty worked at the controls, Hannah watched him through half-closed eyes. His large hands moved with surprising precision over the delicate Lumina technology. The same hands that had broken metal restraints now adjusted the life support system with gentle care. "Why did you help me?" Ty asked quietly as he finished programming their course. "You've given up everything." Hannah's skin glowed faintly with blue light, the Lumina expression of truth. "Because they called you a beast," she whispered. "But I saw how you hold a sunflower, how you saved me during the accident, how you look at the stars with wonder, not as conquests." The shuttle sped toward Earth's moon, but behind them, the Lumina ships had recovered from the confusion. On the scanner, 3 pursuit vessels appeared, closing fast. The small shuttle raced toward Earth's moon, engines working at full power. Inside, Ty watched the scanner with growing concern. The 3 Lumina pursuit ships were gaining on them. "Can we go any faster?" Hannah asked weakly from the bed where Ta had placed her. Her skin flickered with dim patterns, a sign that she was still struggling with the shuttle's environment. "Not without burning out the engines," Tay replied. He adjusted their course slightly, trying to use the moon's gravity to increase their speed. The nearest Lumina ship fired a warning shot. A beam of blue energy passed just in front of their shuttle, lighting up the darkness of space. "They won't destroy us," Hannah said. "They want you alive, and the data I took." Ta nodded grimly. "But they might disable our engines. We need to reach the lunar base before that happens." He checked the communicator, trying once again to send a message to the Earth outpost on the moon. So far, there had been no response. Either the Lumina were blocking their signal, or the outpost was abandoned. The shuttle shook as another energy beam passed even closer. "Next time they won't miss," Ta said. Suddenly, the scanner beeped with a new alert. 3 more ships had appeared, but these were coming from the direction of the moon. "Earth vessels," Ta said, his voice filled with hope for the first time. He quickly adjusted the communicator to Earth frequencies. "This is Engineer Ta of Earth Space Defense," he called, requesting immediate assistance. "I have escaped from alien capture with critical information." For several long seconds, there was only static. Then a voice replied. "This is Captain Mina of the Earth Defense Fleet. We've been searching for you, Engineer Ta. Hold your position." Ta laughed with relief. "Captain, be advised I have a Lumina scientist with me who helped me escape. She requires medical attention." There was a pause before Captain Mina responded. "Understood. But be aware, we've detected Lumina ships pursuing you." "They're right behind us," Ta confirmed. The Earth ships moved into protective positions around the shuttle. On the scanner, Ta could see the Lumina vessels slowing their approach. "We're sending a transport to dock with your shuttle," Captain Mina said. "Prepare for emergency evacuation." Tay turned to Hannah, whose condition was worsening. The shuttle's life support system wasn't designed to maintain a proper environment for a Lumina for extended periods. "Help is coming," he told her. "But the Earth military might not trust you at first. You're the first Lumina they've ever seen." Hannah's skin pulsed weakly with light. "The data. Give them the data. It proves everything." A larger Earth ship positioned itself above their shuttle. Metal clamps extended and locked onto their hull. A docking tube began to extend between the 2 vessels. Just then, The lead Lumina ship opened communication. "This is Council Member Sok of the Lumina High Command," a familiar voice announced. "Return our property immediately. The human and the traitor Hannah must be surrendered." Captain Minna responded firmly. "This is Earth Defense. Engineer Tide is under our protection now. Any hostile action will be met with force." On the scanner, more Earth ships appeared, moving to create a defensive line between the shuttle and the Lumina vessels. The docking tube connected with a solid thunk. The shuttle's airlock opened to reveal 2 Earth soldiers in spacesuits. "Engineer Ta," one called, "we need to move quickly." Ta gently lifted Hannah in his arms. "She needs a special atmosphere," he explained. "Lighter gravity and different air mixture." The soldiers looked at Hannah with surprise. Her translucent skin and glowing patterns were unlike anything they had seen before. "We have a medical bay that can adjust to different environments," the lead soldier said after a moment. "This way." As they moved through the docking tube, Hannah looked up at Ta. Her voice was barely audible. "I need to request something from your leaders," she said. "What?" Ta asked, adjusting his hold to make her more comfortable. "Asylum," Hannah whispered. "I cannot go back." Behind them, the standoff between Earth and Lumina ships continued, the start of a conflict that would change both their worlds forever. 1 month had passed since their escape. Hannah stood by the window of her special living quarters on Earth, watching rain fall for the first time in her life. Earth's gravity had been reduced in her rooms, and the air mixture adjusted to help her breathe. Even so, everything about this planet felt heavy to her Lumina body. The door opened, and Ta entered carrying a small package. "How are you feeling today?" he asked. "Better," Hannah replied. Her skin had regained some of its glow, though the patterns moved more slowly than they would on her home world. "Your scientists are very helpful." Ta smiled. "They're excited to meet a real alien, especially one who saved Earth from becoming cannon fodder in a galactic war." The data Hannah had stolen from the Lumina ships had proven invaluable. Earth's leaders now understood the true nature of the alliance the Lumina had planned to offer. Defense systems around the planet had been strengthened, and diplomatic messages sent to the Lumina Council making it clear that Earth would not join the Protectorate program. "I brought you something," Ta said, opening the package. Inside was a small electronic device. "It's a rainfall simulator. For when you return to your quarters on the moon base, it creates the sound and visual effect of rain." Hannah's skin rippled with pleasure patterns. During her time on Earth, she had told Ta how fascinated she was by the concept of rain, which didn't exist on Lumina worlds. "Thank you," she said, taking the device carefully. Ta watched her examine the gift. In the month since their arrival, he had become her unofficial guardian and guide to human culture. The military trusted him to keep an eye on their unusual visitor, while scientists interviewed her about Lumina technology. "There's a meeting this afternoon," Ta said. "The Earth Council wants to discuss the Void Collective threat. Since you know more about them than anyone here, they've requested your presence." Hannah nodded. She had been helping humans understand the wider galaxy and its dangers. It felt strange to share so much information about her own people, but she believed it was right. "I'll need to use the mobility suit again," she said. The mobility suit was a lightweight exoskeleton designed by Earth engineers. It helped support Hannah's fragile body against Earth's gravity when she left her special quarters. Without it, her bones would crack under the pressure. Later, as they walked through the corridors of the Earth Defense Headquarters, Hannah noticed the stares she received. Some humans looked at her with wonder, others with suspicion. "They don't trust me," she observed. "Some don't," Tai admitted. "It's hard for humans to trust quickly, especially when it comes to aliens who were planning to use us as soldiers." "And what about you?" Hannah asked. "Do you trust me?" Tai stopped walking and turned to look at her. "You gave up everything to warn us. I think that speaks for itself." In the meeting room, Earth leaders had gathered around a large table. Images of Lumina ships and Void collective forces filled the screens on the walls. "The Lumina Council has requested your return," a stern-looking woman told Hannah. "They claim you stole important military secrets." "I revealed the truth," Hannah replied, her voice steady despite her fear. "The Void collective is dangerous, but using humans as unknowing cannon fodder is wrong. Some of my colleagues think we should hand you back to secure better relations with the Lumina," the woman continued. "They are, after all, more technologically advanced than us." Ty stepped forward, his face showing rare anger. "Hannah requested asylum. Returning her would violate our own laws." The debate continued for hours. Some humans wanted to use Hannah's knowledge to build weapons against the Lumina. Others suggested hiding her on a remote part of Earth. Through it all, Ty remained by her side. When her mobility suit began to malfunction from extended use, he noticed immediately and supported her with his hand, gently enough that no one else saw her moment of weakness. That evening, returning to her quarters, Hannah finally asked the question that had been on her mind. "Why do you protect me so fiercely? I am part of the species that wanted to use yours." Tay's answer was simple. "Because you saw me as more than what I appeared to be. I'm just returning the favor." 3 months had passed since Hannah arrived on Earth. In a large conference room, she stood beside Ty and the Earth diplomatic team. Her mobility suit had been improved, allowing her to move more easily in Earth's gravity. Her skin glowed with nervous light patterns as she watched the screens showing approaching Lumina ships. "Are you ready?" Ty asked quietly. Hannah nodded. "I've worked on this proposal for weeks. I hope they listen." The Earth team had created a new plan for relations with the Lumina, one based on true partnership rather than exploitation. Hannah had helped design it, using her knowledge of both species. The lead Earth diplomat, Jun, reviewed the final details. "We offer technology exchange, scientific cooperation, and limited military support, but not as cannon fodder. Earth soldiers will serve alongside Lumina, not in their place." The largest screen lit up with the image of Council Member Rin. The gold and silver patterns on her skin showed her high rank among the Lumina. "Earth representatives," Rin began, "we have come to discuss the return of stolen property and the traitor Hannah." "We're here to discuss a new type of alliance," Jun replied firmly. "Hannah has been granted asylum on Earth and is now under our protection." Rin's skin flashed with anger patterns. "You do not understand the galactic situation. The Void Collective grows stronger every day. Without proper defenses, both our worlds could fall." Hannah stepped forward. "That is why we have created a better proposal." For the next hour, Hannah and the Earth team explained their plan. The Lumina would provide advanced shield technology and scientific knowledge. Earth would offer engineering expertise and limited military support for defensive operations only. "This is not acceptable," Rin said when they finished. "The Protectorate program requires full military commitment." "Then there will be no agreement," Jun stated. The negotiations seemed at a standstill when an alarm suddenly blared. A message appeared on a side screen. Void collective ships had attacked a Lumina colony world near Earth's solar system. "We must return immediately," Rin said, her skin pale with fear. Ty looked at the battle data and then at Jun. "This is a chance to show good faith," he said quietly. Jun nodded and turned to the screen. "Council Member Rin, Earth is prepared to send immediate help for evacuation efforts. We can have ships ready in 1 hour." The Lumina Council members looked shocked. "You would help us, even without an agreement?" "Yes," Jun said simply, "because that's what allies do." Within hours, 3 Earth ships led by Ta launched toward the Lumina colony. Hannah went with them, her knowledge of Lumina physiology essential for the rescue mission. Her small shuttle followed Ta's larger vessel through space. When they arrived at the colony, the situation was worse than expected. The Void Collective had destroyed most of the defenses, and fires burned across the settlement. Thousands of Lumina were trapped in damaged buildings, their fragile bodies unable to escape through the debris. "Our ships will engage the remaining collective forces," Ta told the Earth team. Ground crews will focus on evacuation. Hana guided the rescue teams, showing them how to safely move injured Lumina. The human strength proved perfect for clearing rubble and carrying survivors. In the main colony center, Tai led a group searching for trapped civilians. They found a collapsed building with 20 Lumina children inside. The structure was unstable, ready to fall completely at any moment. The supports won't hold much longer, one of the Earth engineers warned. Tai studied the building quickly. I can brace the main support while you get the children out. Before anyone could stop him, Tai entered the damaged building. His powerful body held up a falling beam while the rescue team evacuated the children. Just as the last child was carried to safety, the entire structure shuddered. Ta, get out now. Hana called through the communicator. Tai started to move, but it was too late. With a terrible groan, the building collapsed. Through the cloud of dust, Hana could see Ta's body lying motionless under a pile of debris, his blood mixing with the ruins of the Lumina colony. His heart is failing, the Earth doctor said, looking at the medical scanners. He's lost too much blood. Hana stood beside Ta's bed in the medical bay of the Earth rescue ship. Her skin was almost completely dim, showing her deep distress. Ta lay motionless, his powerful body broken by the collapsed building. Machines beeped around him, keeping him alive. There must be something we can do, Hana said. Her voice was steady despite her fear. The doctor shook her head. We've tried everything. His injuries are too severe. Hana touched Ta's hand gently. This human, this beast as her people had called him, had saved her life more than once. Now he was dying because he had risked everything to save Lumina children. Suddenly, Hana's skin began to glow with a bright idea. Lumina regeneration therapy, she said. It might work on human tissue. What is that? The doctor asked. Our medical technology, Hana explained quickly. It uses light energy to rebuild damaged cells. We need it because our bodies are so fragile. The doctor looked doubtful. Human physiology is very different from Lumina. I know, Hana said, but I can modify the treatment. I need access to the Lumina medical supplies from the colony. Hours later, Hana had set up a complex array of equipment around Ta's bed. She had worked non-stop, combining Lumina medical technology with human equipment. Her knowledge of both species made her the only person who could attempt this treatment. This has never been tried before, she told the Earth medical team. If it works, the light energy will rebuild his damaged organs and repair his broken bones. The rescued Lumina children watched from outside the medical bay. They had heard that the strong human had been hurt saving them. Even council member Rin stood nearby, her skin patterns showing genuine concern. Hana activated the treatment. Soft blue light enveloped Ta's body. For long minutes, nothing happened. Then, slowly, the readings on the medical scanners began to improve. It's working, the Earth doctor said in amazement. His cells are regenerating. 3 days later, Tai opened his eyes. The first thing he saw was Hana leaning over him, her skin glowing with joy patterns. Welcome back, she said softly. The children? Tai asked, his voice weak. All safe, Hana assured him. You saved them all. 1 week later, Tai was strong enough to attend a special meeting. The Earth delegation and Lumina Council gathered on the neutral ground of the rescue ship. This time, the mood was very different. What Engineer Ta did for our children has shown us something important, Council member Rin began. Her skin glowed with formal respect patterns. We called humans beasts because of their strength. We saw only what we could use. We were wrong. Rin turned to look at Ta, who still moved carefully as he continued to heal. And what xenobiologist Hana did, combining our technologies to save a human life, shows what true alliance can achieve. The new agreement between Earth and the Lumina was signed that day. It established humans not as servants but as equal partners who would contribute their physical strength and creative thinking in exchange for Lumina technology and knowledge. Special sections covered medical cooperation, scientific research, and limited defensive support against the Void Collective. After the ceremony, Hannah found Ta looking out at the stars from the ship's observation deck. "What will you do now?" she asked. "The Earth Council has approved funding for a joint research center," Ta said. "They want someone who understands both humans and Lumina to help run it." "And you suggested me," Hannah guessed. "I suggested us," Ta corrected with a smile. "If you're willing." Hannah's skin glowed with her answer before she spoke. "I would like that very much." As they stood together looking at the stars, an older Lumina counselor approached them. He had once been among those who called humans beasts. Now he bowed slightly to Ta. "We were blind," he said simply. "You have the strength of a warrior, but the touch of a healer. They called you a beast, but we were the ones who failed to see clearly." Ta smiled and gently took Hannah's delicate hand in his. Two species, once divided by prejudice, now united by understanding. The beginning of something new.